Hello, this is SNES83 and welcome to another unboxing. This time I'm gonna unbox two things, the Nintendo Classic Mini and the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, as I bought them. I bought that one a couple of months ago. It even has collected some dust, and I bought this recently for the release. I thought I was gonna open them and then share some nostalgic memories, if I have one, because to be honest with you, I never owned a Super Nintendo, but I'll get to that when we open it. I am old. I'm gonna be honest and say I'm old. So I was actually a child when this came out. This is not just some kind of retro thing. I actually had one of those. I had some games too. I never had as many as 30, but I'm pretty sure I had some of the games included in the box. Let's have a look. I had Super Mario Bros, Super Mario 3, Super Mario 2, not that Super Mario 2 Lost Levels or whatever it's called, but I had the other one. I hope it's on here. I think it is on here. Let's see. Super Mario Bros. 2, it says there. Yes, so I guess so. Let's just turn that one around too then, so you can see what the games that are there. I think this is the Nordic or European PAL whatever version. There are maybe some games added and some games removed. I'm not sure. I'll put it on the screen. And I think they also look different, at least I think this one looks different in the United States. In the United States this was called the Famicom, I think, or was it Japan? Japan. And I'm not sure, but the point is that I think this design is different. The package of this one looks pretty similar to the one I got when I was a child, which is interesting. Of course, the original box was a lot bigger, but it had like the same color scheme with stars and stuff like that. The one I got had one controller, I think, and a zapper, and it included Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros. I think I may even have a picture of me holding it around the bed of my dying grandmother. I was a child. I don't think I really understood that she was terminally ill, and I was, if I remember correctly, I was like talking about all the possibilities this Nintendo had to my dying grandmother, who out of politeness probably didn't tell me to shut up, because she was pretty sick, I think. Yes, we bought it before we visited her in a hospital, I remember. And she died not very long afterwards. So anyway, I owned the Nintendo. I never owned the Super Nintendo. I remember the Super Nintendo came out and I wanted one. I was about 8-9 years old, I think, and my parents didn't want me to be spoiled rotten, and I also think they were pretty skeptical to buying a new console, because the original Nintendo made me rather passive person. I spent a lot of time indoors playing Nintendo instead of going outside and exploring the world and getting myself into trouble. So I never got the Super Nintendo. I do have memories of it though, because other people had it, but I never owned one. So I can't really comment on like the design, but I think it was kind of like that. It looked like, from looking at it in the store, I think it looked basically like that. So yes, let's open them up and see how they look like on the inside. So let's take this one away. And then open this one. When I was a child, it came with this one, I'm sure of that. But it also came with something I don't expect this one to have, and that was a ad for something called a Nintendo magazine. I think there was an international thing, but it was a Norwegian version, and it came once a month and had cheat codes and comics from Super Mario and Zelda, and I think I read them pretty thoroughly. Always hoping that the cheat codes and tips and tricks would be from games I owned. They were rather expensive, these games. About $50, I think, for of course translating it into US dollars, about 500 kronas, 600 kronas for each game, and that's pretty expensive. Even I think the games cost about the same now, brand new, and back then there weren't any price reduction, if I remember correctly. I think they always cost for 600 kronas. Right now they come out when they're brand new, they may cost around 600 kronas for 500 kronas, and then they will have a huge price reduction after a while. But back then I don't think that was the norm. So anyway, here it is, the Nintendo Mini. Come on. And it basically looks like a Nintendo, but I don't think you can open this one. That's a bit sad. I don't know what to expect, but it would have been nice actually if you could open it. Has something in there. I don't know what it should have been, but I know it's probably would get easily destroyed. But right now it's just a block, right? It's just a block, whereas in the original one you could open this one and put a cartridge in there. And then you have a reset button, it probably works. And then you have a power button, just like back in the day. So you would put the cartridge in there, and hopefully when you press the button it would work. Although sometimes it didn't work, and it would shine bright white, blinking white, I remember. And then you had to put the cartridge out, blow on it, and then put it back in, and usually it would work then. And then I think we also used some Q-tips, ear swaps things that would also clean it if it didn't work. And then we have the controller. And one of the strange things is that the Nintendo Mini only have one controller. Whereas the Super Nintendo comes with two. But I think they've been I think the Super Nintendo came with two controllers, whereas the original one only came with one. So I think they probably did it for capitalistic, let's sell them separately ideas as well, but also to be true to the original packaging. I don't know. I'm gonna have a little try and see if it feels like the controller as I remember it. Let's see. It's been ages since I tried it. I can't. Is it lighter? I'm not really sure. It would have been fun to actually have the original. I gave away my controller, and I gave away my Nintendo when I was a child. Outgrew it or something. So I don't have anything original left. Probably stupid. It's probably worth some money now, but I don't. But I think, yeah, I think it's basically the same, right? I'm not sure. It's something. I don't know. Let's say it feels the same at least, okay? So yeah, that was that one. And I'm pretty sure it comes with some things to USB cable and USB charger, right? Yes. And HDMI cable. But that's weird. It's like that, but shouldn't be like a USB. I guess I need one then. Doesn't seem like it came with outlet or whatever it's called, like a something to put in a. I think they want you to plug it into the TV. Some TVs have a USB outlet, but I think I'm gonna use a adapter or something. So yes, there it is. Nintendo Mini looks just like the one I had, except it didn't have an HDMI outlet. It had a cable outlet back there, and I think it was on every Nintendo I ever bought. There always was some things under where I always wondered what the hell are those things for. You could open them, and when the internet came, I learned that there was supposed to be add-ons. But I can't remember ever seeing in the stores any add-ons for the Nintendo or any add-ons for the GameCube or Wii. But they all have it. Always have some possibilities for adding things on it. Yes. There you go. Now I'm planning on making a Let's Play of these games later. I know Nintendo is rather copyright crazy, but I don't give a bleep. The worst that can happen is that the video will be removed, and the best thing that could happen is that, I don't know, they don't notice it, or they add ads on it, and by all means just add ads on it anyway, I don't care. So yes, so the Super Nintendo Entertainment System I never had. I wanted one, but I never got one, for reasons already stated. But I did borrow it from a family member, not my brother, not that close. And I remember playing Super Mario World there and Zelda. The funny thing about Zelda: Link to the Past, which I played a lot, is that I never finished it. I played it, as I said. I think I borrowed the Super Nintendo twice from my family, my relative, or one, I'm not sure. And each time I started anew with a new save file. And I think I always ended up just around the place where you blow up entrance to the pyramid or something like that, or just go to the other world. I can't remember. And then I never got to finish it. And then I bought a ROM. I know it's not legal, or back then the copyright thing and the internet was kind of different than it is now. ROM is more frowned upon now than then, I think. It was basically some nerds making some nerd things for other nerds. Unlike now, it's like there's big business in selling old games. It's like in a lot of art and stuff like that. Sometimes it's made just for the short time that it was supposed to be aired or sold. Like in movies, back in the day, before VHR and home entertainment systems, VHR, and cable and TV for that matter, the movies were actually just made for the time was supposed to be viewed in cinema. They did store it in vaults and stuff, but there were no plans for re-releases. There were no DVDs or VHS or TV in the early 1900s or 20th century. There were no plans for redistributing it in the same way as now. And I think in the same way with like Nintendo and Super Nintendo was that when the console was done, it was done. There will be no retro time. There will be no time going back again. And like, there will be no time going back, reselling it. And then they saw there was a market for it. And of course, ROM then became a taboo. On Wii, if I remember correctly, you had like a Nintendo Store. You could buy the old games anew. Both Super Nintendo, Nintendo, and 64, if I remember correctly. And I'm sure there's been like on the same on the Wii U and whatever Switch or whatever it's called now. So now it's a taboo to use ROMs, but it wasn't back then. Anyway, I played the ROMs, and again the same thing happened. I never finished it. I wonder if I'm ever gonna finish it this time around. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's open it then. Yes, comes with an instruction manual for, of course. And then the Super Nintendo here. And the first thing I pointed out on the last one, right? On the regular Nintendo, is that it doesn't actually have. You can't. Here you put the disc or cartridge, it's called, and you press that one, eject, I think, or no. I have this memory that I didn't press the eject, I just pulled. No, we probably used that. I can't remember. It's been ages. Anyway, it's kind of sad there is no cartridge here. It's probably for packaging reasons easier that way, but it would have been fun to have something to represent it, because this is not like the Sega. The Sega came out with a game in the box. When you put it on, and if you didn't put any cartridge in, then some game would play. I can't remember what it was called. Something about a boy or a kid. But this one does not. So that when there is no cartridge in there, you basically are not playing anything. And if you're gonna be like nerdy and stuff like that, it doesn't seem very realistic or close to how it was back in the day. In this one, you can like pretend. You can pretend that there is a cartridge in there, but there is no cartridge viewable here. And I don't know which cartridge I should have chosen, but it would have been fun if they did. Let's just... There you go. It feels like the same thing. And also I think it's kind of funny that they have two different, plugs. It does look the same. I remember this is the connections, but they are smaller, I think. Of course they are, and it's kind of interesting that they made that choice. They could, of course, have had something else. Just have, because I'm pretty sure you put the controller in there, right? Let's find out. Perhaps you don't. I don't think you do. Or do you? What? How? One moment. I see. That's cheating! Okay, so they basically... Okay, well that's fine. But yeah. Let's try this one then. Yeah, it does feel the same. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. The plan I have is, of course, mainly to have them as something to put in the room to look nice. That's the plan I have. It's not actually going to play that a lot. I am of the impression I'm not a retro gamer. I do have some wishes to play Super Mario Bros. The original one. Perhaps also the second and third one. Yes. So basically I'm going to try it. And then I'm going to put it on a shelf as a Clinodium. I'm not a retro gamer. Why should I be? I played them when they were new. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you watched to the very end, you can write the code word 1256 and get a special prize. No, I'm joking. There will be no prize. I haven't got the budget for any prizes. But you can write the code anyway, so I know you watched to the end. Bye bye!